It's official as we have some massive new updates surrounding the Mark Williams trade as it pertains to the Lakers, as Adam Silver has broken the silence and revealed the truth behind not only the trade, but what the Hornets' next actions were as it pertains to filing a protest with the NBA. We're going to break down those new updates and discuss what it means going forward, as well as some very interesting stats surrounding Austin Reaves. He's even better than a lot of fans may think. Stay tuned for all that in this episode, folks. But before we get into it, if you're part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Lakers content. Your guys' support has been unbelievable. We're on the road now to 16,000 subscribers. If you want to help us towards that goal, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot to go over today. And obviously, it's the it's the All-Star break now. We had the skills competition, the dunk competition yesterday. It's a little bit underwhelming, but the good news is we, of course, saw Dalton Knecht play very well against LeBron, coaching, all these different things, right? However, one of the things that has been, kind of made public this All-Star break is the fact that, and you'll see it from here, we have a huge update surrounding, of course, the Mark Williams trade. So rescinded Lakers-Hornets trade receives a massive update. We can finally put a close onto what a lot of fans, called a very wild few weeks. So after the Lakers and Hornets rescinded a trade due to center Mark Williams failing his physical, Williams has not rejoined the Hornets. This situation has drawn attention and prompted discussions within the NBA regarding potential changes to the medical evaluation process for trades. Unlike Dalton Knecht, who presumably played for the Lakers immediately, Rob Boone of the Charlotte Observer reported that Williams has yet to report back. So when that obviously happened, and Mark Williams hasn't been reporting to the Hornets, hasn't been playing any games, we were wondering what's going on. Well, we have an update from Adam Silver. So Silver spoke to reporters at the All-Star Commissioner's press conference, and he clarified the Hornets had not filed a protest of the trade. So Charlotte has not filed a protest of any kind. Now, we saw some reports from David McMenamin, a bunch of different things saying that the Hornets are not going to back down on this, and that how they're going to go to the NBA, file a protest, saying that, hey, this physical was, maybe the Lakers had buyer's remorse, and then the physical was failed, all these different things. In reality, they're not going to be filing for a protest surrounding the Lakers and the Hornets, and they're just going to let it be. So it seems now it is official that Dalton Knecht is back with the Lakers for the future, and that this trade is not going to go through. And I think at this point, and let me know down below, would you have wanted this trade to go through given obviously what we know now? I see some people online saying, hey, because of how bad the Lakers are at the center position, go ahead and, even if he was a bit injured, they should have done it. I think this sets them up way better for the future, and we'll dive into that in a little bit here. But I can't even remember, and this is from Adam Silver, and this is a very interesting thing because this could have some effects going forward, and it could change the NBA forever and how it's kind of seen as the trade deadline is, because let's not forget, this is pretty unprompted. Like, very rarely now in the modern NBA era do you have trades go down with all the, advanced analytics you have surrounding injuries, all the advanced not analytics surrounding injuries, but all the advanced analytics with players, knowing what their medical history is, the communication, all these different things between the different teams. It's very rare where a trade gets completely nixed. And Adam Silver was asked about that, and he said, I can't even remember, and certainly I don't think in my tenure a trade there has never been a challenge because a player had failed a physical, but almost by definition, you get into a certain level of subjectivity in where that standard is. Acknowledging advances in medical science, Silver indicated that the NBA might review its standards for trade-related physicals. We'll look at it. I say it's one of those areas when it comes to health and well-being of our players, medical science. There have been incredible developments, and this is a rule sort of as interpreted now, hasn't changed for many decades of league office. And he's basically going on because you think about what this means for the Lakers now, and obviously trades going forward as well with these different things. Clearly, the Lakers, we knew from the reports from David McMenamin, all these different things, that the Lakers saw the papers beforehand cleared, all good. He looked like he was going to be, fairly healthy. That he didn't show any bad records. And then once they got into the physical, like the actual, in-person physical, they failed. And I think a lot of that is because the Lakers had to be, for somebody who's been as injury riddled as Mark Williams has been throughout his entire career, to be 100% confident in acquiring that player and giving up the assets that you did, your best young player and your best young asset aside from Luka Doncic, and a first and a swap, you would have had to be very sure, because if they would have gotten him and been handcuffed with him, they would not have been able to make a big splash in the offseason for a center. So that's where that comes from. And I think ultimately it is a very interesting trade that, unfortunately didn't happen for the Lakers, but now that positions them much better off going forward to make a bigger move in the offseason. Because now you're looking at the offseason, you have Nick Claxton, you have a bunch of other players that I'm sure are going to become available regarding the center market. Yes, this season's going to suck. You have Jackson Hayes and you have Alex Len, both okay players, specifically Jackson Hayes. Len hasn't really been great yet. They're still available in the buyout market, shopping for Bismack Biyombo, a lot of different players like that. When it comes to this trade, it is official now. We can put a close to, the coffin of the idea of the Lakers getting Mark Williams. And the Hornets try to pull a fast one. A huge shout out to the Lakers medical staff, because after weeks now of a couple weeks of this being a big deal, it is not. It is over. And Adam Silver has come out and confirmed that we will now be seeing Dalton Knecht in the Lakers uniform for the foreseeable future. Does he still get traded in the offseason? I'd probably bet my money on that, but we'll see what happens from there. But something else I want to touch on, and it is surrounding Austin Reaves, because obviously we're seeing all these All-Stars at the All-Star weekend, and Austin Reaves isn't, there's been a lot of discourse about him starting, about what his role is going to be, especially coming off of a bad game against Utah. What if I told you one of these players only take up $12 million of your cap space as a third option? Austin Reaves has been better than everyone non-Lakers fans thought. And I'm not talking about Lakers fans, of course, saying that, we know as Lakers fans how good Austin Reaves has been, even though there's been some discourse lately about specifically whether Austin Reaves should be in the starting lineup, whether Austin Reaves should be off the bench, there's been some talks about moving him at the deadline for a center and then, going from there. I think it is a very interesting conversation, and a lot of fans outside of LA don't realize how good Austin Reaves has been. And I want to go ahead and show you guys these stats, because we're talking about Anthony Simons. We're talking about Mikal Bridges, who the Knicks gave up 5 first-round picks for. Bradley Beal, of course, having a down year. Markkanen's very solid as well. But when you're talking about even Jimmy Butler, when you're talking about the cap hit, Jimmy Butler's now making, I think, $60 million, 65, whatever it is, $65 million over the next 2 years with the Warriors following the season. He signed that extension. And when you're talking about players that are like some of the most valuable in the NBA, Austin Reaves is up there because of his $12 million per year contract. And his $12 million annual value is one of the best in basketball. Now, there's obviously a couple that compete, but when you compare him to other teams like Mikal Bridges and the Knicks, like Austin Reaves, the only downside he has to his game, especially at this point, is his defense. He is not a very good defender, and that hurts, especially point of attack defender, and that hurts the team compared to some of these other players. But a lot of these other players on the list aren't great point of attack defenders either, aside from, of course, Mikal Bridges and Jimmy Butler. So I think it's about time, and I want you to let me know down below. Do you still think they should start Austin Reaves? That's going to be the biggest question, and hopefully JJ Redick sheds some light on it. It seems like for now, JJ Redick's pretty bought into the fact that they're going to be rocking the starting lineup of Luka, Reaves, Rui, LeBron, and of course, Jackson Hayes when healthy. It's interesting. I still think putting in Dorian Finney-Smith there would provide this team with definitely an extra bit of defense, which they desperately need, especially in the absence of Jackson Hayes. But as it pertains to Austin Reaves, I think he's going to get his shots anyway with Luka Doncic there. He's going to get his spot up threes. He's going to get his pull-up threes. He's shooting 36% from 3. He's averaging, a 6.1 career high, 6.1 assists per game. Like, he is starting to develop into a very good facilitator. And I don't think having Luka and LeBron there necessarily will take that away. I think if anything, it'll open up some more shots for him. But I just wanted to give him some praise and some flowers here, because his contract, sometimes we forget how good his contract is, especially compared to other players in a league now where, players are getting more and more money. It's just happening. It's getting a little bit out of hand at times. And we have a budget player in Austin Reaves who can be the third best player on a championship team. That's what I believe. And we'll see what happens this year. But let me know down below what your thoughts are. The trade officially is not going to be, I guess, voted against. They're not going to get Mark Williams, but we do have Dalton, Knecht. We do have some other players in the go, and the Lakers are now setting themselves up for a very interesting offseason. And, of course, the rest of the season in the second half once this All-Star break closes up. But we're going to keep you guys up to date with all the latest news. Thank you guys for watching. See you later. Cheers.